Welcome back to the Feeling Seen podcast. I'm Annette.
I'm Clara.
And I'm Felicite. Today we had a discussion about our relationship to drugs and alcohol and our experiences in nightlife, because we like going out and having fun. So we just deep dived into that a bit.
Yeah, and we're bringing like 3 different like POVs because we each have like a different relation with consumption. So we're hoping that you're gonna like this episode.
Yeah, and hopefully you can relate to either one of our perspectives and that you enjoy the episode.
And that you feel seen.
How's everyone doing today?
Ooh. I feel like I'm out of breath for some reason. How do you feel?
I'm doing good.
You're chilling?
I'm chilling.
Today's an exciting day, I think.
Yeah.
We have a filled day, and I love when my day is filled to the brim.
Yeah, because we film like every Friday, kind of. And after that, I love to take the girls to my gym and we work out. We do a little High Rocks inspired workout, if you guys know what that is. And then tonight I'm hosting a little pool
Party
gathering at mine. So it's gonna be a full fun day, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be
what's
fun.
giving me life right now, because I feel like we struggled so hard to set this whole podcast thing up. We had sound issues, we had computer issues.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good moment to like relax, and it's also the annual party we met at last year.
Oh my gosh, it's our 1 year, Annette. I love it. You're so right. I didn't even think about that.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
It's like a
so
full
sweet.
circle moment.
you guys met at that
No,
time?
we
That's
didn't
when we
meet.
became
That's when-
friends.
That's
Yeah,
when we
okay.
became. That's when we had a conversation, and I was like, I like her.
This girl's cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
Shout out to me.
Shout out
Shout
to
out
you
to her
and
for
your annual
organizing
pool
that.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of parties,
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of today's topic.
Yeah.
Because we all like going out. We all like to, be outside. So then we thought we could have a little discussion about our relationship to the nightlife and to drugs, alcohol, all that shebang.
Mm-hmm.
What was you guys' kind of first experiences dabbling with alcohol? Like, does your family indulge a lot? Because I feel like if you see your parents drink a lot or it's something casual in your household, you might be more inclined to dabble in those things. Like, what's you guys' relationship to that?
My mom doesn't drink. My dad drinks, but only like on occasions. I don't drink at all. Like, I'm sober. I don't smoke. I don't consume alcohol. And I don't think there's a reason, like a dramatic answer as to why I don't like drink. I think it's just like a personal choice. But I also think it stems from like the people I surrounded myself when I was in like high school. Because like my group of friends at that time when I was living in Paris, like I was going to a predominant white school. But for some reason, all of my friends were Black. They were like Middle Eastern, like people of color. And I feel like in my friend group around that age, it was kind of seen as a white people thing to drink.
Oh.
Like you did not have time to go and drink because your mom would beat your ass. Like she would.
Yeah.
So like I just grew up around people that
didn't
have like a relationship. The things that we would do for fun at that age was like hanging out outside, playing like soccer, like like fun things like that. So I feel like also this whole idea of like like having to drink to have fun is a little bit like not stupid, but I definitely think that you can have fun without like indulging in like drinking. So I definitely think that the reason why I don't drink today, it's a personal choice. Like I often get asked by people, oh, is it for religion, like beliefs and stuff? I don't think so.
You never kind of picked up on it.
Yeah. Like I just never picked up on it, and I just never started.
But
that's
I feel
so interesting.
Like alcohol is one of those things that is really like it's comme un effet d'entraînement in the sense that like the more you drink, the more you normalize drinking, and the more people around you drink, the more it becomes like just this thing that kind of gets in your routine. Like I've noticed a lot that I'm not like Annette where I don't drink, but I have more of a tendency to not drink often. If I drink, I'll have one drink, you know, and then that's it. Even then, like I'm often the designated driver, and like when I so many times I've just like gone out and I'm just like not having a drink, and but I feel like I'm able to do that because I see it a lot in my friends where like when they would go out, they were like, oh well, I have to drink because I'm out, you know. And it's also, I think there's a big aspect of, especially in a nightlife context, where I've seen a lot of people use alcohol as a way to tone down their social anxiety. And it's like, oh, it just like loosens me up. Like I'm not gonna have fun if I'm not drinking. Like I've been in situations where I was out, and then for me it's just normal to be out at a club not drinking. But then I'm gonna be with a friend who's always having a drink when we're out, and he's gonna feel like super self-conscious and super just like, what am I like? I need a drink.
Also there's the thing where you're like in that space of like the club space, or you're in a bar, or you're in a restaurant where you just want something in your hand, you know what I mean?
But I've found that like having something in my hand, whether it's alcohol or not alcohol, fulfills the same purpose. Because when you think about it, like having one drink is the same thing as not having a drink at all. And I've like throughout the years, like at first when I was younger and I didn't drink that much, there was obviously more social pressure to do so. And then, but if I just held something in my hand, everyone was assuming I was drinking. So then it was kind of like filling that weird like social space in which people, because some people, when they realize that you're sober in a party context, they hate it because they become self-conscious of their own behaviors, because they're like, oh, like I've had that before, being like around people that had been on multiple substances, and when they learned that I wasn't drinking, they started feeling so awkward because they were like, wait, like is she judging me? Like, and it's like, babe, every time you've seen me out, which is the only time we see each other, and I've never been drunk. You know,
there are so many people that realize when I told them that I don't drink,
it makes people like, feel uncomfortable with themselves.
Just like, Annette, like this
like,
whole
why
time
would you?
That I've been seeing you out, you've been sober. Like they don't understand how it's possible to like achieve that.
I totally get it, and I also understand. Well, I feel that it's really interesting what you said about growing up in an environment where drinking wasn't really common, because it's the total opposite for me. I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, school, whatever, so all my friends were white, and therefore they had a huge like drinking culture in just within their families, you know, like they were, I remember them telling me how they were 12 and their whole family like put themselves together to get them to drink, and they would drink like these.
It's like the same thing with the people in my school. Like some people are like literally smoking with their parents. Like I can't even think twice about doing that with my parents.
But my first experience with weed, my friend's mom gave us the weed.
But I kind of,
because her friend would grow it, so she was like, oh, it's like,
wow,
it's from the source or whatever. Isn't that crazy?
For me, like my parents aren't big drinkers. Like my dad is super like, he goes to bed at 9:30 p.m. every night, wakes up at 5:30 a.m. every day.
Same.
He's at work at 6:30. He eats a banana at 9 a.m. Like my dad is super military regime in terms of his lifestyle. So alcohol quickly was kind of like rejected out of his life. For him, it's like a health and like performance type of thing, where it's like, if I'm drinking, it's gonna hinder my productivity. So I come from a super like non alcohol household, kind of like my dad will have half a drink on Friday nights, and it's like, whoa, Eric, you know,
he's getting loose.
Like literally, like the other day we were at an event, and my dad was like, "Oh, get a glass of wine," and I was like, "Papa." But while it was like that, I remember like when I went to my first party, like when I was 14, my mom was always like, if you're gonna drink, I'm gonna give you a beer, and then I'm gonna know that what you're drinking is safe, and if you are at a party and you are drunk, you call me and I come pick you up. Yeah. So it was the type of thing where like my parents never made me feel like it was like, don't do that, don't, you have to
like
lie.
Ashamed, or like it's like a taboo.
The fact that it was like, oh, my parents don't like consume a lot, but then if I do, and if I want to try those things, it's okay. That made it for me where it wasn't this kind of like, you know, like from a young age, sometimes it's like, oh, like it's like defiance a bit. Smoking is defiance, like drinking is defiance. Like when I tried my first cigarettes, my mom knew I was trying my first cigarettes, and she was like, you're gonna realize that shit isn't serving you. And because I never had this like enticing thing to like try those things and to lie about it and to be sneaky and to be like,
because that's what makes it more exciting for
yes, but
it's
then
like you bring bottles at a party, people are excited because you guys are not supposed to be drinking in the first place. It would be different if you guys were allowed to.
Yeah. So I do, like, for me, it's the type of thing that I would want to implement with my kids, where I'm like, it's normal for you to try these things, and you need to try these things to know that they're not for you. Like, I'm all about that. Yeah. But then it's also like, I always knew that if it was like 1 a.m. and like I needed, like, I was in any situation, I could just call the phone and like call my mom and be like, come pick me up, I'm not feeling good. And she wouldn't be like
judgy about it.
You know. So then I'm of the opinion that it's like, it's great that, for example, your friend, like the first time you smoked weed, it was your mom's, like your friend's mom that was like giving you the weed, because it's like, exactly, it's safer. You're not like getting it from whoever the fuck in the street.
100%. Because you don't even know what's in that.
Exactly. And we had a great time. We did it at her house as well. We did brownies. I remember like it was yesterday. Honestly, it was a good time.
The brownies were such a big thing in high school. Like I remember
because
we couldn't roll. Nothing would happen. I was like, well, I thought I was gonna feel something.
Yeah, but then it's like 2 hours later, you're like,
I don't remember.
What does that feel like? Like I'm always
like I remember eating brownies like every time I would go at parties, and nothing ever like
really.
Maybe you have like a high tolerance.
Well, I don't know, because the first time I smoked weed, I like for real. No, second time. First time nothing happened. Second time, bad tripped for 5 hours. I thought I was gonna die.
5 hours?
5 hours. I thought I was gonna die. Like this guy had to talk to me, like just like to distract me, because I was so panicked and I thought my heart was gonna stop beating. It was
because it was beating so fast.
Yeah, and I was just like in a complete state of panic. It was terrifying. And that's the moment I realized that I had tendencies of having control issues, and I can't do that type of thing. Like for me, like one of the, and I don't know if that stems from my upbringing as well with alcohol, but when I went to my first parties when I was 14 and stuff, like initially, we've like mentioned it before, but I have a lot of health issues, and when I got my first diagnoses, like the medication I was taking was very intense, and they told me like, if you drink a lot, it's gonna affect your liver. Like it's dangerous, like for you to drink a lot. Like you can't black out, like you can't dabble too much into that. So I was young, so I was just like, oh well, I can't drink, you know? Yeah. But so my first years of like being at parties, like my experiences were me being sober, or you know, like having one drink, so which is basically like being sober, and then just like picking up after my friends that were completely out of control. And like, I remember these instances where I was at a house party and then one of my girlfriends was just like, had drank so much that she was crying for hours hysterically and just like made a fool of herself.
I don't miss those.
In front of the whole year. And I would just like witness that and be like, oh my god, I never want to embarrass myself like this in front of people. So I think it kind of like seeing my friends kind of like have those really weird like experiences of getting out of control made me so scared to dabble more into alcohol and stuff
and be
for
that girl
me to look like that as well. And like I think my parents have always been like, there's always kind of been this narrative growing up of like, oh, you have to like, I don't know how to say, but like I've been like wary from a young age of like how people would perceive me and of like not being that girl that is like all over all the guys and just like being a girl that looks like respectful and isn't just like making a fool out of herself. And that I think that's like something that my parents kind of like
instilled in you from a young age.
Instilled in me that like appearances mattered and that I don't be that girl that's like doing like too much and
that's
blah, blah,
sloppy
blah, blah.
And that who's
So then in those like early experiences with boys and with like alcohol and parties and just like, you know, like growing into your kind of social self, like I associated alcohol as, oh, I will lose control, I will look like a fool, and then people will associate like this
with me
negative thing to who I am, you know? So I was always this very like cette personne très cadrée, comme that's not doing too much and that and that really like I think that's why like later on when I like smoked for the first time or I would always get these experiences of like panicking. Like when I get drunk, oftentimes I just feel so much anxiety, not the next day, while I'm drunk. Because I'm like, I swear, like, I remember last summer having 4 drinks on a night out. And I went from having so much fun to feeling so anxious because I was like, I'm saying, like, nothing that I'm saying is making sense. Like, I'm making a fool of myself right now. And that's the thing that comes on. Like, it's not, I feel like for most people, when they drink or when they smoke or whatever, they kind of lose, like, that's the whole point, to lose
the
control and to just
awareness,
like just like calm down and just like have a good time and not worry. Me, it's the opposite. My worry factor just like skyrockets and it makes me feel so anxious. So there's so many factors for me of like not consuming. Like there's the, oh, I didn't drink a lot from a young age, so that kind of instilled the fact that I don't need alcohol when I'm out. But then there's also the fact that if I have one extra drink, I'm not even gonna enjoy myself because I'm so like wary of how people are perceiving me in this non-controlled state.
You know? But you know what, I feel like I had that same, you know, sense of perception, like outside perception, instilled in me from a young age by my parents. However, I have dabbled with, you know, drinking, substances, whatever, but I always had that in the back of my mind. So I feel like I knew myself and I knew my limit. Yeah. And I knew that I never wanted to be the girl like crying I'm not a huge, you know, emotional person in the first place, but
you wouldn't do that in the
first place. I would never, but still, like, I never wanted to be that girl like falling over people or, you know, like slurring her words.
Yeah. So you knew when to stop.
I knew when to stop. I knew when I wanted to do something and I knew when I didn't. Okay. However, I feel like I did have friends who were enablers and I would consider myself like kind of a yes woman, and like woman, I like having fun, so I would be like, you know what, let me try. I've like everything I've done is because I just wanted to try because I was curious. Yeah. But
like, did you ever felt like you were pressured to like indulge in that?
Yeah, for sure.
Pressured or influenced?
I have felt pressured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt pressured for sure. but you know, I still did it, so I wouldn't like blame it on the person. But
Yeah.
I have
But it
felt
would have
pressure.
been easier to say no if like Annette and I had been in your corner.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and exactly, because now that like I'm around people who don't drink or do whatever, I feel like it's easier to just be like, you know what,
Not tonight.
I don't need it. I don't want it. I literally don't want it. I don't want to taste that in my mouth right now. I just want, give me some lemonade. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like it's easier now that like not my whole friend group is out here actively trying to get to a
Yeah.
certain level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, I like that.
Yeah.
'Cause
But I think it does, like, from a young age, like, it does take, like, confidence to say no,
No.
to
it
these
does,
things.
it
Because you're,
does.
like,
especially
people
when you're
judge
at like a
you.
house party and everyone's there with their
Yeah.
Four Locos and going
Because it's
Ham.
so
No,
normalized.
yeah.
And I feel like-
especially when you're young, because you want to be cool, you want to be like, you want to have fun, you know, you see
Yeah.
all those people having fun on the tables, dancing, whatever,
And I feel
taking the shots, and it's like, I want to
And you know, for
that.
me, like, my excuse was always my, like, medical condition. So then people would, like, because I was like, no, I can't drink for medical
Yeah.
purposes.
Yeah.
So then it was like, oh, okay. But if it would have been, because it was for that, but it wasn't really for that. Like, it was a mix of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And like, but I had that excuse, so it was easier to be like,
it's more
leave me
acceptable
alone,
for
you know?
people.
yeah.
Because otherwise, they just try to nitpick and to understand, like, why are you not drinking?
Exactly.
They can't.
It's part of, I don't know if it's a generation thing, but I think that it's so normalized and it's
It
encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say no and be like,
Yeah.
but I'm still fun though.
I feel like there's this misconception about, like, how you can't be having fun if you're not, like, drinking. While it gets,
Yeah.
like, annoying sometimes when you're, like, around, like, only, like, drunk people and you're the only one sober. Like, I don't feel like I want to surround myself with people that the only thing we do when we're hanging out is drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's also like people have different definitions of what the word going out means. And I've like noticed that a lot, where like for me, like going out has always been about listening to good music, seeing a bunch of people I know, and just like letting my little I've always said I go out to talk. Like I go,
Yeah.
She's
and
a
people are
social
like,
butterfly.
what do you mean talk at the club? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna be in front of the club yapping, making
Yeah.
friends. Like I've had like some of my best memories in the past couple of years have been of me going out, but it's like, little do people know I'm always sober, you know?
Yeah.
But then I would go out with friends that were like, what do you mean you're going out not to get shit-faced and dance the night away? And I was like, well,
I'm still dancing the night away, babe.
I'm dancing the night away, but I definitely don't need to be intoxicated to feel the rhythm in my body, you know?
Exactly, because then it's a 2-day thing, because you're preparing for your night out,
Yeah.
and then you're out, you get shit faced, and then the next day,
Next day,
Yeah.
you're done for.
Yeah.
like, the anxiety,
There's no
the
fun
throwing
in
up,
that.
the stress.
The throwing up, I can't.
Like, I feel like alcohol does maybe, like, relieve, you know, that stress, like, you know, for a little short period of time. But then after, it just leaves you, like,
You just
kinda
feel disgusting.
worse.
You
Yeah.
feel horrible the next
and it's
morning.
like you're gonna want to keep drinking to not feel that way. Like,
Yo,
you know, that
I've never
stress.
understood that. I've never understood the people who drink so much and then the next morning they're so hungover and they're like, oh, I need to drink more to fight it.
Yeah. But because I
Huh?
feel like there's a thin line into, like, drinking alcohol and then, like, alcoholism.
Yeah, casual
Yeah, you're right.
alcoholism is a real thing.
It is.
Because that's what you're doing when you're drinking. Like, you're basically changing your brain chemistry into one of, like, an alcoholic. Because, like, casual drinkers, when they drink, it's like a decrease, you know, like, the more you drink, the more you get, like, you stumble, or you're, like, slurring your words, or you're gonna get tired to a certain point. But for alcoholics, the more that they drink, the more energized they get.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, like, recently, because I got a concussion, like, for a couple of months, and then it was really, like, no alcohol. Like, you just cannot do that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, now every time I take a drink, I swear I fall asleep. No, but it used to, like, when I was
Wait.
drinking, you really see the difference. Like, when you stop drinking for a while, like,
Oh yeah.
like, if you pick up drinking again, it feels so much different than when you have a drink once in a while. Like, when you drink more often, it's like you get a drink and you're like, woohoo! But then if you stop drinking, you get a drink, it's like you feel kind of all the negative effects you feel more intensely.
Yo, you're so right. And I felt that recently. And I don't even know how I felt. It felt so weird. I felt it was kind of an out of body experience. I was like, why? I felt anxious for the first time ever.
While
Join
drinking?
the club!
Yeah.
When was that?
We went to an event at Vol de Nuit a while ago, and Mia came to
Oh, I remember.
and
yeah,
I
that
had
one night.
Oh,
I
you told me
drank
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I drank I think like 2 drinks and maybe like a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I felt so bad. I felt anxious, and like I started feeling the effects, because now when I drink, I'll have like a glass,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
maybe
fun.
2.
Like, we're the girls together, we grab a martini. Like,
Exactly. That's it.
that's the vibe.
That's it.
but
then
we're not actively trying to get shit-faced.
no, we're not trying to get drunk. I'm not trying to feel like
In an
all
outer body
yeah. And I hated it. I
Mhm.
hated it. So now it's like I can't.
Yeah.
I stick to a glass, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's it.
me recently, like, since I've, like, now my concussion is better, so I've went back to having a drink like once every week, once every 2 weeks and stuff. But I feel the effects so much the next day, because right now my symptoms, like, my health is so fragile. The alcohol is such a trigger to my symptoms. Like, if I have a drink right now, tomorrow I'm gonna have a headache all day. But it's because my body is obviously more like sensitive to like external stimuli.
Yeah.
But the fact that having one drink is a direct correlation to me having these symptoms, like, has made me reflect a lot about, like, oh, what have I, like, ignored in past years when I would drink, and, like, how I would feel the next day. You know, it does have impact on your body that you don't necessarily maybe realize, like, if you're a frequent drinker. And we're not having this discussion obviously to shit on people that drink. Like, that's really not the point of this episode. I think it's just like,
Yeah, we're not trying to demonize like
No,
drinking.
not at all.
It's
Because
Like-
I'm a drinker, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I be drinking.
just- don't get it twisted.
I think that sometimes we underestimate how much alcohol can have effects on us. And, like, alcohol in my mind has been, like, considered as an easier drug than most drugs, but the more the research comes out on the effects of alcohol, the more we realize that it's not that it's less bad, it's just that it's been more normalized. And I think
Because it's one of the worst.
It's
Actually,
a poison.
yeah.
You're putting a poison in
Bro,
your body.
you can die from withdrawals from alcohol.
I
don't
was
think you can die
listening
from any
to-
other drug withdrawals, but from alcohol you can die.
You
bro.
can. I was listening to a podcast about the effects to really grasp, because, you know, I feel like people always say like how bad it is to drink, but I wanted to understand the effect that it has on your body and your brain. Nothing good comes from this, like, at all.
it's just that it's a part of, like, what our society deems to be, like, a normal thing to do, you know? Like, when we think of history, like, alcohol is deeply
Rooted in that.
entwined
Yeah.
in the
True.
history of all people. But I think, like, yeah, it's just important to, like, question those things, and, like, to question where our need to drink comes from, and, like, just so that's the point of the discussion. Don't feel like we're judging.
We're not
anyone.
demonizing
We're not.
drinkers or like people who
dabble with
indulging in like
substances.
drugs. It's just like a open conversation.
And I found that sometimes, like, especially recently, I've felt not like I was judging people, but sometimes I felt more concerned for them, especially like us that we go out a lot, and
Yeah.
like realizing like like some people that I see when I'm out, I've like, the other day I was like, damn, I've never seen that person sober.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Or you always see them at night.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what do you look like in the daytime?
Specific kind of like, I don't see them outside during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was this like one girl that I would always see out, and every time I would see her out, I think she introduced herself to me 10 times. And I was like, I remember being so annoyed and being like, girl, we know each other, you annoying
I know
little
exactly
person.
what you're talking about.
You know, like we used to follow each other on Instagram, but then you see me out and you keep introducing yourself to me. And I remember being like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, yo, this person is so annoying. But then after that, I was like, wait a damn minute, that person, I've never seen that person not intoxicating.
Yeah. She's just out of her mind.
She just doesn't remember.
We're meeting you.
Which I was like, my anger.
But it's like, why do you keep introducing yourself when you know that you're not going to remember shit the next day? Like, just be like, hi. Like, that's it. I don't need to, we don't need to go beyond that, babe. Just,
it's like so awkward.
It's so
the
awkward.
amount of time this happened to me, and it's like every time I'm repeating my name and I'm just like,
it happened to me with every time I was with Philly, we would run into this man. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And I would see him in the daytime. I would see him at nighttime. And I would always see him with Philly. So I was like, and he knew Philly like pretty well.
Yeah, we know each other.
Like, very well. And I was like, what do you mean my name is? After the fucking 20th time I've seen you.
Introduce yourself like 20 times.
20!
Oh, the 20 My name is.
Yeah, especially because you've met him with other friends as well. Anyways, but yeah, and I remember, do you guys remember when I told you about, I was on a night out and I ended up with people that I'm like, you know, they're like party friends, you know. One of them was like super socially anxious, like she was visibly unwell. And then so her friends just look at her and they're like, oh, but babe, come, let's go do a line. So then they go do that substance, and then girl keeps being anxious. So her friends are like, okay, like, let's bring down your nerves, let's go smoke outside, go smoke weed. And then the girl, still unwell, her friend hands her a drink, and I'm like, in the past 25 minutes, your friend has not been feeling well, and your answer to that has been to intoxicate her in 3 different substances. And I was sober in front of them, and I was like, oh my, and I didn't even judge them. I felt so bad, bro. I was like, the fact that, like, right now I'm standing in front of you and you've had to consume 3 different substances to talk to me and not feel anxious, who's sober right now.
But that's so crazy that that's the band-aid that they're gonna stick on the wound. You know what I mean?
It was like, babe, if you're not able, like,
let's just go talk
to
outside
people right now,
and we'll try to, like,
yeah,
you know, I'll bring you a glass of water. I'll never be like, oh.
And she was like, oh my god, like, I'm having such a hard time having a discussion right now, like, I hope you're not judging me. I was like, babe, I'm not judging you, but I'm judging you the more you consume, girl, because like,
that's not what's gonna help. Yeah.
Oh my god. And I felt so bad.
It's gonna make it worse.
The next morning I woke up and I had gone out until, I swear to God, I went to bed at 5 a.m. It was 10 a.m. the next morning. I was on my computer doing stuff, because it's like, yeah, I went to bed late, but I'm not like in withdrawal the next day from like 3 different substances in the span of 20 minutes, you know? Yeah. And I was like, oh, and I was just looking at these people and I was like, that's such a, like, she needs to find other friends, like, and not in a bad way, just
or just other coping mechanisms.
Yes, that's true. But and understand, why are you drinking also in the first place?
Anyways, it was that moment was just like so the peak of like consumption normalization to me, and I was like, oh, I feel bad right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I had a really weird, not weird, it was pretty traumatic, honestly. That's what made me relax and realize what I was putting in my body, because I was working at this restaurant, and when we would finish the shift, we were allowed like a beer or a glass of wine. And I remember I was going out after my shift, and I had either a beer or a glass of wine. I think I had a beer probably after my shift, and then I think I had like a shot. My friend came to meet me at work. She had a little bottle of rum, I believe. So I drank a little bit of that. And then I think I also had like a little glass of like maybe a gin and tonic or something. So the mixing was
alcohol,
real.
yeah.
Y'all, when I tell you I got to the spot, I was waiting in line. I was falling on the people behind me. They had to hold me.
Oh my God. This is giving me flashbacks.
That was I got inside the spot, went straight to the bathroom. I threw up everywhere. And not only that, I lost my phone.
Oof.
I was so drunk, I lost my phone.
Not the phone.
Girl. After that, safe to say that the next morning I felt disgusting.
Yeah.
Like a corpse. I tell you. And it was so traumatic. It was it was just like me the next day thinking about throwing up everywhere in the club. My friend had to get me out of there in an Uber. It was horrible. And after that, I stopped mixing alcohols first.
But sometimes you need those experiences to
I
realize.
needed it.
Yeah.
But it's
I needed it
also,
to learn.
like, you having these experiences, like, to me, the first thing that like comes to mind is, imagine if you were not well surrounded and you had ended up in the wrong hands that night.
That's true.
And that's such a big thing. And I feel like not only is it important that you trust your friends when you're out, but it's also like being in those positions like really puts you in vulnerable. It can put you in really vulnerable situations.
You're so right, because I was so grateful for that friend who not only took care of me, but she also, like, she was looking for my phone everywhere.
Yeah.
She hold my hair, bro.
It's
like, she had my purse the whole time. She put me in an Uber. Like, she checked up on me the next day. It was
the amount of people, like, I've like noticed on nights out, like when I was at big clubs and stuff, just like women being so drunk and wandering like alone, and just like it's like her friends ditched her, and it's, oh my God, that always like, that was also for me like a reason not to drink too much. And like when I was in New York, I went out a lot. Like, I was going out on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday night, on a Friday night. And it was so fun. Like, I was meeting someone, you know, it's going out in New York. Like, I was having the best time. But I was always like, first of all, I'm literally in New York right now. Like, it's something bad could happen, you know. It's a huge city. Like, you don't know, like, you're around a lot of strangers. And I remember being at these like I was doing the whole like promoter like New York thing, like promoter dinners and stuff like that, and I was so wary all the time, like when the guys would give me a drink, like, because I was at booths and tables and stuff, and when they would hand me a drink, I would look at them pouring the drink and then to see if like nothing was in my cup. And I still managed to have one bad experience where I think my friend and I slipped something into our drink, but I was still so wary, and like I still managed to have a bad experience. But as soon as I started feeling bad, dialed my other friend's number. I was like, take my location, we're coming home, like called an Uber, and I was completely like,
well, that's good. Because I think it's important to not only be surrounded by people with good intentions and who actually care about your well-being,
but you also have to know yourself and know when something was wrong, because in that moment, like, some guys, I was at this spot called Catch in New York, and I was like at a promoter table, whatever, and then we met some guys and they were like insisting on buying us a drink, and I was like, sure. And then I like remember not checking properly, and then suddenly, like, I just later on after having that drink, I look at my friend and I'm like, are you feeling weird? Because I'm feeling weird. And I was like, I knew that the amount that I had consumed I wasn't supposed to feel like that with how much I had drank. And my friend was like, oh yeah, I'm glad you're saying that because I don't feel great. And then it just like hit us like a truck. Like suddenly everything was wobbly. Like I ended up puking. It's my only time I've puked of alcohol. And obviously like when you get roofied, the first thing you're gonna do is start throwing up like profusely and stuff. And I remember just like feeling so uncontrollable, and that was just like not normal. I had 2 drinks.
Yeah, but I'll never understand that, like why men do that, or people. We're not gonna throw it all on men, but you know who does that. But you know who does that, because it's like, what is the intention behind it? Is the intention of like finding her later and trying to do bad things to her, or are you just out here giving out drugs for nothing to traumatize people?
I think it's option A.
Why? I think it's option A.
Yeah.
I
feel like they wouldn't do that just for.
But sometimes it's just like people just put it in and then say, yeah. For what though?
No,
you know,
how
bored are you?
It definitely has like some motive behind, in my opinion, especially like in big clubs and like, you know, like the definition of what nightlife is, you know. And I was always super wary of that. So then I felt lucky that like as soon as it hit me in a weird way, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna go downhill from now on. Like I took my friend and we left. But it was really scary, and like that's happened to one of my other friends. Like we were at a concert.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because you lived in London, right? And I know the drinking culture there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. How was that like?
How was it splitting the G?
So I'm a Guinness girl, I have to say. Clara, arrête.
J'arrête.
Yeah, I think in London it was interesting. I always said like, oh, I understand that Londoners drink a lot because it's so gloomy. Like I would need a drink at the end of the day as well, you know. Like I feel like, but literally, like it's such a drinking culture, and I'm like, y'all have it bad. So
y'all are excused.
It's okay, y'all are excused.
But yeah, it was so funny because when I got to London, so obviously the summer before I was in New York, and it was my first time doing exactly that. Big clubs, big promoters. Like I was at all the biggest clubs in New York, and I kind of like indulged in that like promoter culture. And then some of the guys that I had met that were promoters in New York, rich like nepo babies turned promoter. That was an era for sure. Yeah. They like, one of them, like a couple of them also lived in London, so then they were promoting in London. And those like big nightclubs in London, it was really the type of culture where it's like women can get in for free if they're models or if they look a certain way. So then I remember like when I got to London, another girl that was from New York that lived in London as well, like we went out with those guys a couple of times, and it was like I really felt like it was like the definition of women being commodified for their looks, and it being literally like a commodity in a club for men to look at, you know. So it was like we would get to the club, and then at the door the bouncers would literally ask they would literally ask the girls to show their model websites, like their agency, their face on their agency.
You're kidding.
To get into the club for free. And that was with a promoter, or like everything was already arranged. Like it was like guest list table, everything is arranged, but then you still need to show your model page.
Damn, they took face card too literally.
It was like, yeah, you're too small, or you're not. Like I've literally seen girls getting denied at the door because they weren't pretty enough to get in the club.
Oh.
So I did that like a couple of times, and then I was like, well, that was great. You know, like checked off that bucket list. We're not coming here again. And you know, it was the type of clubs that had like not like, you know, like dancers like hanging from the ceiling and just like
I like go-go dancers type thing.
go-go.
I think.
Stripper.
Comme
strip
so
clubs?
it's not like à la voûte. Like you know the dancers.
Yeah, type of thing.
Go-go.
And like before that, sometimes there was promoter dinners. So then I was like, my friend and I, we were like, free meal, let's go. And just like being like, oh, it's fine. Like,
do you guys know that there's an app for that?
well, not in Montreal, no.
Yes, there is. I learned
In
that
my mind,
recent.
that doesn't exist in
An app
Montreal.
for
I'm
what?
telling you, it's an app where you can get invited to like clubs to eat for free with promoters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
then
right.
it was the same thing, but obviously like in New York and in London, it's a way bigger like nightlife culture. So there's all these like things that we don't think we have here that maybe we do, but on a way smaller scale. You know, you're not gonna go to a promoter dinner before going to Appartement 200.
No, but you might before Fly Gin.
Yeah, maybe, but still, like it's not.
I don't know
that-
if they still do those though.
They
Or
still-
like I think I've been to one at Yokoluna. Those
Yeah.
type of
I
fucking
don't
clubs, bitch.
But then it was
That sounds
great
very
because like my
interesting.
friend and I like we were just there like eating 5-star restaurant food, and then after that going out and having a laugh, and just like we were friends with these guys, so it didn't feel as though like we were being exploited. After a while I was like, I don't know if I want to go to these places where I'm just accepted in because I look good.
Yeah. What are the places that you enjoyed going then?
So I think my favorite clubbing, well, I think that's just like goes without saying, but my favorite nightlife experience ever was going to the Box, just because it's such a unique experience. And do you know what the Box is?
I don't.
Okay, the Box is this pretty infamous nightclub. They have one in Soho in London, and they have one in New York. And it's like people say it's kind of reminiscent of the Studio 54 era, because it's a cabaret type of nightclub. And like when I was in London, it was like this known thing that like, oh, like Harry Styles like goes to the Box a lot. So it's kind of like it's really hard to get into. It has a bunch of celebrities just because of the nature of like what goes on in there. I think it attracts a lot of like A-list celebrities, whatever. So it's this pretty famous like thing. Like like Isa, our friend that was in London as well, like she really wanted to go. She had heard of it. Like it's like people know of it. And the first time I went there, I was like, well, honestly, I didn't go. I think I went twice or 3 times, because after a while it gets like a bit like, okay, that's enough. You know, it's really special when you go the first time because you don't know what to expect. Like I had heard so many stories, and so like when you go in, like first of all, when you walk in, it looks like you're in a like opera house. Like the inside is super like kind of Renaissance like vibes. Like you walk inside a staircase, and I remember walking in, and the girl that like greeted us had this like costume that looked like she had like a big gown that kind of gave like Bridgerton vibes. And then she had like the hair also to match.
Bridgerton,
like,
as in like corset, and she had the
exactly.
Okay.
But she had like no top. She just had huge sparkly nipple pasties, and like that's the woman that greeted us in. And then like you can't take pictures inside, so I don't remember if they put something on your phone or you just like can't take your phone out, whatever. And then you walk in, and it has like this, it looks like a theater inside, but it's a club. And then they have a stage, and there's 2 shows during the night. I think there's one at like 11:30 and then one at 12:30, something like that. But the shows are very varied and very intense. So like it's known for being the type of place where like you don't know if there's gonna be someone pooping on the stage or if it's like
Are you for real?
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's that type of show.
it's that type of show. Like you don't know what to expect. That's why it's so famous. It's because it's really like the type of place that like provokes, but it's super kind of like libertin in a way where it's like everything is welcome. So there's like not sexual acts performed, but like references to sexual acts. Like there's like dancers that are kind of nude, and then there's in London there's this one man that does very triggering sketches. So it's just like a bunch of different sketches. So but the entrance, like the opening act, is this like man who's once again dressed like very burlesque. Like he looks like comme un maître de cirque un peu, and then he's like there's this whole like singing performance, and then like at one point I remember the people on stage like picking out someone like a guy in the crowd, and then they brought him behind the curtain, and when they opened the curtain, like his shorts down, like it's super like vulgar, but in a
Entertaining
more
way.
like everything is like free speech type of thing. Genre, c'est très libertin, genre very like, oh my god, but not nasty necessarily, just like
Kind of disturbing, I guess.
well, some of it is disturbing. Like I saw I saw someone shit on the stage, and then like the next time I went, he puked on the stage, and then the next time after that, he like the one time that I was like, oof, that's real, because it's just like when you're there, it feels like you're kind of like everyone just stops talking and watches the show, and then like the music is really good before that, so you're dancing, and it just feels like you're a part of something that's really kind of like transgressive, but in a positive way, more than in a weird nasty way. It doesn't feel nasty because the establishment is so like high end type of thing, and like people, like men pay a lot of money to have tables there, so it's really like it's this very exclusive experience type of thing. And then but the third time I went, like I remember I don't even think I had a drink. It was right before I went back to Montreal, like the night before, and this like weird character was on stage, and he's kind of creepy. Like he's the one doing all the creepy sketches and stuff, and he just started, like, trigger warning, like cutting himself and like bleeding on the stage. I don't know if it was like a special effect. Like,
was it like tiny cuts, or was he like, and was it like with a knife or something?
Yeah, with a knife, like cutting his skin. Genre,
Okay.
la mutilation.
Okay.
And then I remember that like made me so uneasy and nauseous. I thought that was so triggering, and I just left. I was like, that's enough. But that was like my third time going. Like the first few times, it was just like, oh my god, what am I a part of right now? You know? And I was with close friends, so like, you know, like Isa went as well, and she had the time of her life, because it was just like, it was so unexpected, and it really felt like, oh my god, I'm in this like crazy place in New York, like in London, like you don't experience that often, you know,
at all even.
So that was really crazy and really fun.
I really want to go.
Yeah, when we go to London, we'll go.
I want to go.
I'll hit up
Okay, go.
and I was with a bunch of like, I also
Don't mind me.
the crowd I was with felt like I was with a bunch of queer people. Like the promoter was this like queer person that was like super like it felt like I was with a bunch of people that were open-minded, and even like the finance bros that were inside that were paying a lot of money to be there, it felt like, oh, like this is the type of place where it's like, you know, like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type of thing, but it's like in this establishment, that's how it is. Like that's why you can't take pictures, and it's just
I feel like the exclusivity of it all kind of puts on that
exactly
that barrier.
And you know, the one in New York, the box in New York, is where they filmed, you know, in Gossip Girl, Chuck Bass, he has a club.
Oh.
It's that place.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So it's that kind of vibe, like the exclusive kind of like any sin is repentant tonight type of energy. Even if I'm really not a sinful girl, you know, like I didn't indulge in much, but it still felt like you're in this place that is like safe to experiment maybe and witness things that you wouldn't witness usually,
especially not in like an establishment, you know what I mean? You would witness that type of stuff like in the street and you'd be like, oh, these people are tripping.
Yeah. But it's not trashy, it's just like it feels just freeing. Does
it feel like kind of performative, or does it feel like
it's a performance? It's a show.
Okay, it feels like a show.
It feels like you're watching.
It doesn't feel like a tweaker on the stage.
No.
Taking a dump.
Like when it opens, the curtain opens, and then there's this like host that is like leading. It feels like you're watching a musical, and then there's different performances, and the performances last 30 minutes, and it really feels like you're at a cabaret watching a show, and then after that it stops, and you go grab a drink, you listen to crazy music, you dance the night away, and then there's another show. Okay,
so there's the shows, and then it's like after the curtains close and you're just like, you're back to the normal club atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it feels like you're clubbing in a theater, which is like incredible. You know, and there's celebrities at the table next to you, and then there's it's just like, whoa, what am I living right now? You know? And
it's a unique experience for sure.
Yeah. And a couple of my friends recently went to London, and they were like, they live in London, and they were like, oh yeah, like the Box, it always was this place that was really hard to get into, but now it's even worse. Like it's like, so it really like, it felt not like a privilege that I got to experience that, but I was like, not a lot of people get to experience that.
How do you get in?
Promoters.
I know people. I found like I had friends that knew this guy that was this person, I don't know what their gender is, so who was promoting there. So they had like promoters, but once again I was with a bunch of like super queer, like super like a bunch of stylish and like out there people, like, and then there was these tables of celebrities and or people that had enough money to make a reservation there for the night. But it's like one of my like cool nightlife experiences.
I love that. That's so sick.
I
don't think I have a cool, like, I feel like they're just very normal, my experiences.
But I think it's like you have to leave Montreal to experience those things.
You're right.
I really want to go to Bergheim. Bergheim.
Really?
Yeah, I'd love to go.
I feel like I would go inside, but I feel like I wouldn't have a great time inside. I feel like it's not.
I would disagree. Because
I just know the music is not the type of music that I would enjoy.
But what you know those places though. But those places have like those big techno clubs. Like I went to the big techno club in London. I went to the big techno club in Brooklyn, in New York, and they have multiple rooms. So there's kind of things for everyone. And once you're inside, it kind of feels like you're in this like huge warehouse or like this maze, and then every time you get into a room it's like, surprise, this is what's happening here, you know. And there's like people everywhere, just like people don't know what time it is. Like when I was in those like techno clubs, it felt like time
stopped,
even if I wasn't drinking that much. Like it really felt like time was stopping, and you're just there like you're once again, like it feels like you're a part of something. And I think that's why I would love to go, because it's just like, it feels so important to the nightlife culture of like Berlin. So then in my mind, it wouldn't, there's no way you wouldn't experience something so unique that it would make you like the experience, even if it's not the type of music you would listen to usually.
You're so right.
If that music was at Vol de Nuit, you'd be like, let me go home. But it's like you're in this techno club in Berlin that you got the chance to get into. You know what I mean?
I like exactly know what you mean. Yeah, and the club in itself, like getting in itself is
It's
an
the
experience.
activity
Being
already,
in Berlin is an so
Yeah.
it's like nothing can go wrong.
And I love seeing the videos of people being like, me trying to get into Bergheim right
Yeah.
now. And it's like,
I've never seen one person make that video and get in.
yeah.
Ever.
But it's like, it's once again, it's like, oh, are you like being performative and going, or are you going for like the love of music? Like, I would love to go in that line and see, like, look at the people and see who gets in. I really don't think you have to show up there and like dress in all black, because dressing all black is gonna get you in. I think when you get to the door,
I think it's
the
a confidence
person
thing.
has to understand that you're channeling whoever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, if you feel disingenuine, you're not gonna fit in there, type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's really like all that like ravey scene is kind of like, they want people to feel safe in those environments, so it feels like they often kind of like judge people based on their authenticity, you know.
Maybe that's
kind of
why.
interesting.
Maybe that's why. Like I think that I wouldn't necessarily have a good time in there, because I've went through my raving phase.
Let's
You
talk
were a
about
rave
that.
girl.
I was.
Can't relate.
Guess when that was?
When you were 17.
You're a white boy era.
Were you going under bridges and shit?
Forest?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Sur le Mont Royal?
No,
How was
because I wasn't in
that?
Terrebonne, so it was fun.
Because I feel like people do that and then they party until like the
Yeah.
sun rises.
Yeah, that's exact. Because in those spaces, in that scene, it's drugs. So you're up until
Yeah, to like stay up.
because you have to be like, you're fine. Tomorrow you're gonna wake up and you'll be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think that's how I got
you're
through
better
it.
than me.
That's how I got through it. But also you're
But
like
you're the chill
anxious. You're a little anxious
Cara's the
being.
chill girl.
She's too chill for that.
Everything's fine, babe. It's not that big of a deal.
So that's how I got through it.
That's why she's a perfect third of our trio.
Thank you. But yeah,
The
I've
two
had
stuck
great.
up girlies with the
Perfect mix, if you ask me.
But yeah, it was fun. I had good times, but I don't think I would do it again. Molly, shrooms, all the crazy
Well,
shit.
it's good that you tried it. You have those life experiences.
Exactly, and that they were good.
And
Yeah.
you have good experience. Yeah, it wasn't
And-
like traumatizing.
And I feel like I'll be the mom that's like your mom, where it's like, okay, you want to try these things?
Let's do it safely.
Safely,
Yeah.
exactly. And let's not make it a taboo, because that's
Yeah.
how
like I would rather
That's
that
how
than
you
have
get
them
in unsafe
sneaking around.
situations.
and,
that's
like,
how you get in unsafe
doing
situations.
like I would rather have them do that than like sneaking around like and getting drugs from X, Y, and Z person, and
Yeah.
it's just like you don't know what they're laced with, and it's
It's like your
It's
kid
dangerous.
wants to try weed. I'll go buy it at SQDC.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
that's
I
it.
know there's not disgusting chemicals.
And you
in
know
that.
what?
It's
Do it at
so
home with your
unsafe.
friends.
Yeah.
I'll be upstairs.
Come
Scream if you need me.
scream.
On that note,
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in once again. We always appreciate you
We
guys
do.
listening. If you made it to the end, we love you.